What's going on, everybody? How we doing, man? We're back for another one. I think it's week 6 right now. But big shout out to the sponsor from the Citrus Spartans football community, Mark Wright, Coa Bank of Coastal Home. If you're looking to buy a home, definitely give Mark a call. You're looking to get recruited, R&R Elite Recruits. Claim your 7-day free trial. And if you're looking to go on to the next level, do it with somebody that went to a Division I school. Definitely give Emerson Kilgore 401 Strength and Fitness a call. He's over there on the 400 block of Warwick Avenue, man. I'm going to bring in big old Uncle Felix, Rhode Island ranked, doing his thing over there, man. I see it's growing.
What's up, Mikey?
All right. How you doing, Uncle Felix?
Not bad, not bad. Enjoying the beautiful day today.
It was a beautiful day. I was telling my son that. I said, wow, it is such a beautiful day. But it really was. It wasn't hot. It wasn't cold. It was nice and cool.
It was nice.
Your week started off with a big Monday night bang over there at Bishop Hendricken Central Knights, man.
What an exciting game. Wasn't expecting that, but it turned out to be an exciting game to watch.
It really was. I watched it on NFHS, and let me tell you, what a shitty experience.
You know what? That NFHS, if it wasn't, obviously we don't have too many streaming options to pick from, so we're like pretty much forced to watch it. But what garbage is that? They don't put up scores. They don't, no commentating, nothing. It's just a stream of the game.
So if you get commentated for another $10K.
Yeah. So if you tune into the game like halfway through, you have, good luck trying to figure out what's going on.
I had to go between NFHS and you doing the stats over on Max Preps to even know what the score was.
And I'll be honest, I didn't update much because there was nothing to update until the fourth quarter.
You already know. Shout out to my guy Brandon up there, always keeping it real. His son, I believe, plays for the Rebels. I think I seen a Facebook post that he posted. But shout out to Brandon. And shout out to a lot of people like him that call the scores in. They let us know what's going on. So we can kind of, hand it over. But back to that NFHS. I'm watching the game and. First, I'm looking for the game, and it was my mistake, I guess, for punching in Central Knights because it came up Hendricken versus Providence Day. Providence Day Academy.
I mean, honestly, I wish the schools would just say no thank you, but no thank you to NFHS because it's garbage.
I mean, yeah, it's... Now they're trying to give this stuff away to schools, but I heard of schools that paid upwards better in the neighborhood of $10,000 for that NFHS system. For it's like a security camera.
Well, they rob me every month. I think it's $5 or something like that.
Yeah, $10 a month. But I kind of enjoy being able to go back. Like sometimes I'll go back and watch some of the past Super Bowls. Mm-hmm. Because they really only. They do a good job with playoffs, Cranston Stadium, they have announcers, but you can get that on Fans Only, some of his games, all Ronnie's games pretty much come with announcers, man. How's the big Rhode Island ranked, huh? That thing is growing over there on Instagram.
Yeah, the kids getting a good response from the kids. They like it. They inbox me. They send me their highlights. They argue back and forth of, who should have been on there if somebody got snubbed, which is all great because it tells me that they're paying attention and they're they care about, I guess, if they make it or not.
Now, do you have a particular system, or you were just like, it's mine, I'm gonna do what I want? How do you judge this by? Because that other bozo says he does what he wants. It's his design, whatever.
Yeah, typically what I'll do is, I'll go scavenging, looking for stats. I'll give it more weight if the team won versus if the team lost. You know what I mean? But mostly I'm looking into stats and the outcome of the games to see who gets the nod.
And you had pretty good. I mean, everybody that you selected this season, I think, was definitely worthy of the selection. I mean, based on stats and, but
Yeah,
kids that haven't been selected that maybe been
I'm not.
worthy of it too. But
Oh, I'm sure. And then,
go ahead.
like just like anything else, when you're doing a top three, that whoever finishes four or five is not going to be too happy. You know what I mean? And I'm never going to get it all perfect. I mean, I had that major gaffe with Zach Tuck a few weeks ago. You know what I mean? So it happens.
Yeah, I mean, if coaches would be, and a lot of coaches say, well, we don't have the resources to really get the stuff on to Max Preps, but
Hey,
that is an important thing. I mean, they need to update Max Preps. The league has a contract with them, and
which reminds me, kudos to the Pilgrim coach. He actually inboxed me. He sent me some pictures and some stats from some of his players there. It makes my job much easier. You know what I mean? And also West Warwick, I have somebody who sends me pictures from the games and things like that. So all stuff like that makes everything much easier for me.
now
So yeah,
you're also a statistician for a couple teams.
yes. Right now I do the stats for Hendricken and West Warwick.
Nice. Whoever knew we would, football is going to come to a place where we need a statistician, but it's definitely needed. West Pennington, you know, um, he jumped on it one day and he said, Mikey, not everybody has somebody that can update their max preps, and I'm glad that worked out with you and Wes connecting and you being able to do
Mm.
that for him. But I'm sure these coaches have their hands full. And to mention Coach Blake real quick, he's the one coach where somebody messaged me and said, why didn't you do a Coach Blake interview this week? So Coach Blake, you got fans out there watching, and I said, the game was kind of went a little bit late, and then the following day we were gonna hook up, but Coach Blake had the Pilgrim Bowling Tournament at Lane's Bowling Alley, so yeah. But people actually reached out to me and said, "Where's Coach Blake? How come Coach Blake wasn't on the show this week?" So I'm glad people are paying attention, Felix.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's definitely a market out there for the high school sports. A lot of people are very interested. It's fun to me. It's the most fun high school sports of the whole year. You know what I mean? It's just unfortunate we don't have the outlets I think we should anyway. So, but it's growing. You know what I mean? And you're helping with that.
Yeah, we're trying. We're all working together.
Mm.
Before I get into some other things, game canceled this week. North Smithfield, Central Falls. Central Falls has a COVID issue, and I think they're on day one of the quarantine, so they won't be able to get back on the field. Now, I bring this up to say that North Smithfield, I think they could have beat Central Falls this week, and they would have got the W. So now this is, even though everybody makes the playoffs in what I call the Oprah division. No disrespect to anybody in Division Three, but it does matter as far as seeding. So I'm not sure how to make that right. But what do you think about how that is going to affect the team that maybe could have got
Yeah.
the W?
Again, this all goes back to the they didn't think this well all the way through when they had the initial rules. Maybe they should have had some kind of penalty for the team that is affected by COVID. I don't know how fair that is, but just to not play the game and totally dismiss it doesn't work either. Because as the North Smithfield coach stated, that they're going to be affected by this now, and that's a shame. But again, it all comes back to they didn't think this all the way through when they implemented the rule.
I just think that going forward, and I actually heard from people, in other states, and I asked them how they feel about it, and you know what, you can't play. It's a L. I mean, it is what it is. But hopefully, going forward, things can get better, man. Looking at the seating on Uncle Felix, man. D1 looks like Bishop Hendricken is pretty much in the driver's seat with that number one seed that they wanted. Portsmouth right behind them with the number two, and then on the other side, LaSalle and NK. Now, them four teams are the teams that are eligible at this point for the state championship game. How do you think that series would go? So it would
Well,
basically
I
go
mean,
Bishop.
there's still a couple of I guess important games on, especially on the Hendricken side, because they still have to play Portsmouth and SK.
Hmm.
Um, so I don't know how that's going to affect the seeding, you know, depending on what happens in those games there. But on the other side, it looks like NK and LaSalle are running away with it. They actually play each other in a couple of weeks, and that could tell you who's going to be the number one seed. Um, in my opinion, it'll be LaSalle that should finish the number one seed because I'm not. I think I saw a game where NK this week I think has a pretty tough matchup. Let me see.
Well, while you look at that, I just want to answer a comment. Yeah, my Projo guy, that's my son, in case you want to know. But yeah, no, he was wrong. SK did have the number one before this weekend's games, and then with Bishop Hendrick in the outcome of that, SK got moved down to number three at this point. According to what I have SK at number three, and I pretty much went over this a few times. I mean, my son Eric might be right over there
Uh,
at
I, NK actually I just saw it. NK actually should win this week, but that's going to set up a showdown with LaSalle, I believe, in a couple of weeks for that number one seed. But
Now LaSalle definitely looks like on the Division One B. LaSalle definitely looks like the dominant team this year. They have some good players over there. You know, we talk about their quarterback all the time.
yeah, they definitely look like the cream of crop on one B. It just so happens the way it shook out this year looks like you know the tougher teams are in one A. Obviously, you have Bishop Hendricken, you have Central, you have Portsmouth, and you have SK, who are all very good, obviously. Where on the other side you have LaSalle and NK, and after that it drops off a little bit.
Yeah, right. And LaSalle, as far as their opponents coming up the rest of the season, I really don't see too
No,
many tough games.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think they're going to be challenged all the way up until the playoffs. And if it plays out the way it is, they're going to either see Central or SK or Portsmouth. You know what I mean? Depending on how it all shakes out in that first round.
Yeah,
You know,
well, they'll actually end up playing. It'll be cross divisional games. So
yep.
Central will end up playing.
If Central finishes with the two, that they would play
Oh
LaSalle.
yes, if they finish with the two, but I think Central. I think the two is out of reach right now. With the you still have a couple games left.
Yeah.
Central would need SK to lose at the end of the season, but I think Central's going to finish at that number three spot. I think it might be too much of an uphill battle for Central to get to the number two spot right now. I think too many moving pieces would prevent that, but it's not impossible. I mean, with that loss, Central actually jumped behind one socket and they're sitting with the number five. Now, my numbers could be off, but I kind of went over this quite a few times. Um, and each week I'll do it. This is, end of week five, so it could very much change.
Oh yeah. We're coming down the stretch here, so I'm sure there's going to be a few changes.
Oh yeah, we're dependent on a lot of teams to help other teams out. You look at Division Two right now. Division Two A is wide open. Mount Pleasant, Barrington, Coventry, them top three teams. It's going to be one of them that's going to be at the top. Now Mount Pleasant having the win over Coventry,
Mm.
really helped them out and put Mount Pleasant in the driver's seat for that number one spot. Now all that means is they get a home playoff game. It don't mean a bye or anything, and I think that stinks for St. Ray's. Doing all that work and to try to get a bye, try to get that week off. You see Moses Muse every game I try to see the Tolman game. I see him go down late in the game. So he's definitely a workhorse. But yeah, that Division Two A is very interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Wesley plays Barrington tonight. I mean tomorrow night. On,
Mhm.
on that side,
Yeah, there's some big
classical.
matchups coming.
Yeah, definitely. Classical and Coventry. Classical still got to beat St. Ray's, and they still got to play Coventry. So a couple tough games, but Classical holding on to that number two after that win over Westerly last week, and it looks like Westerly's gonna, hold on to that number 3 spot right now, and then you have Mount Hope with the number 4 in Division Two.
Hmm. Yeah, no, it's
You
like I
know,
said, we're coming down the stretch here, so it's gonna a lot of things could get shaken up.
and Central Falls. I mean, I'll go out on a limb. Central Falls might not want to. They might not play another game this season.
Really?
With only a couple weeks left into the playoffs, and um, I'm not saying that they're doing it for seeding, but it seems like they in day one of their quarantine. And you know how that goes. So will they be prepared? Will they be ready? As of right now, they would have to play a tough Narragansett team if the playoffs started
I said
today.
nobody wants to see Narragansett right now. I mean, they're throwing up 50 a game, and you know what I mean, and I'll tell you now, they score 50 this week.
And again, North Smithfield not playing, and I think North Smithfield could have got the win over Central Falls. That would have helped out their winning percentage. North Smithfield, it could land, but they'll have to go play a tough Pilgrim team, and they don't want to do that either.
Hmm.
Right now, I think they'll play Charahoe, which Charahoe blanked them 41 to nothing in week 2 or week 3. It was so it's tight everywhere, and everybody makes it in Division 3. You know, and then Division 4, Pano, seems to have the number 1. But listen to this, Felix. Is this going to hurt Pano that their last game is going to be week 7?
Yeah,
They won't play again until November 19th.
yeah. I mean that's sitting around collecting a lot of rust. You know what I mean? But they are so far ahead of any other team in that division. It won't hurt. I think they might start off slow, but they'll have enough to pick it up and roll. They're going to be a tough out in Division 4.
Thank you. Shout out to Brandon. He wanted to go double check, make sure I was right. Big SK fan. Loves the 5 SK running plays. Salute to him. I love to have passionate fans like that are not afraid to call out their own team.
Hmm.
I've done it at times. You've done it at times. Um, but you got to keep it real. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do it over here.
Exactly.
We say how it is, man. But let's get into your top 3 Rhode Island ranked. Go over there, check out Uncle Felix at Rhode Island ranked over there on Instagram. Your followers are getting up. Oh, definitely. The officials definitely do suck. And we need more. If people, like even seniors that just graduated, like, what are you doing on the weekends? Go be an official. Like, if I wasn't doing this, I probably wouldn't mind being an official, being right there, part of the game. But I don't
It's
think I have that
tough.
type of
I
skin
don't know.
it takes.
Yeah, I don't know if I have the temperament because yeah, I
Not the
couldn't put
kids, the
back the
parents. So,
well the parents, the coaches, you know what I mean. So it's unfortunate but they're not treated the very best. It's a thankless job.
like I don't know. I'm not good at being talked down to, so I might end up wrapping that chain around one of them coaches' necks. There goes my official, and I'm out of there. Coming off the field with a damn assault charge.
Yeah, I remember years ago I was coaching a youth football game in Lincoln, and we were playing CLCF, I believe, and the coach kept chirping back and forth with the official. I mean, they were going at it, they were yelling at each other, and then finally the coach in CLCF actually went onto the field and shoved the official onto the ground, and the police had to come actually and escort the coach off the field. It got crazy.
Well, I seen a youth football game a couple of weeks ago, and right when I seen the coach skipping, I said, "Oh boy, he's fitting to bang somebody,"
Yeah.
and he got right up next to it and just threw a right bang, and I was like, and
Yeah.
then I seen
Yeah.
another one, a kid in Texas, he got ejected from the game. He comes running across the field, just tackles the official. He got arrested too, but you can't be doing that. I mean,
No.
if you listen to Emerson, and salute to Emerson, and I try. Emerson will never go against anything any official say. I try, boy. He will not, but salute to that because he don't want no one criticizing what he says or any kind of calls. And he makes a valid point that things happen so fast and there's so many moving parts.
Yeah,
But
a
some of these things
a
are
lot of the time,
egregious.
we have the benefit of replay or still pictures and that they're for them it's a bang bang play. I mean, they could be blinking at the wrong time, they could be looking at something else the wrong time. You know what I mean? So it's understandable they make mistakes, and then like I say, it's part of the game. You
Well,
know,
the NFHS allows replay. We have enough teams that use huddle that are videotaping things. It'll take 2 seconds for the official in the box.
well,
I seen.
maybe they should do that more often. I don't know what the rules are if they
Well,
have
the
to,
league
but
is saying that it's not fair because not every team has the capability.
oh, I
So
see.
you have to make sure everyone has the same capability. But
Hmm.
I seen so many times in the box where somebody recording the huddle will stop, will actually look back on that play, and like so, there is ways to do it. Or another official, I won't mention his name, said maybe each team should get one call that we could do it. They're like a little red flag. You, whether you use
Oh,
it
you
or
with the
not,
NFL?
yes, but if you use it, you use it, you lose it. Whether you win or lose, you only get one a game because we can't slow it down that much. But some of these games, the last couple of weeks, really been determining the outcome. Some of these calls.
Mm. Yeah, that's gonna
But
happen with
let's.
close games, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and one coach would say you shouldn't have let the game be that close.
Exactly.
You know, you shouldn't have let it be that close.
No,
But
you can't. But we always tell the kids you can't leave it into. You can't put it in the hands of the officials. You got to take care of business yourself.
this play is one that I was watching the game, and me being a Bulldog fan, and was rooting for them. I see this, and then I ended up missing it because somebody kept on plugging fans only stream, the
Yeah.
Marcus Buchanan play. You
Oh yeah.
know, with the end around, like what a beautiful that kid is just like, look at this, bang, you know, going. And I said, Stanley, why did you kick it to this dude? And he said, we didn't. Yeah, we kicked it away from him, and he still got his hands on the ball. Shout out to Marcus Buchanan, doing great things at Classical, and really look at that. He
Yeah.
was
He
gone.
showed off his speed there, and he showed why he's getting Division 1 offers already. I mean, the kid's a stud. He's gonna be great at the next level, and
I mean,
plays like that, just showcase his talent.
shout out to his coach too, Coach McCall. I know
McCall.
he has his haters and people, um, and I'm not always a fan of some of the things that Coach McCall does, but salute to him because here is a guy that I know some people say is debatable, but some people argue he says he sends as many players to college as Keith Croft.
Hmm. No, he does a good job. I don't know if it says many, but he does a great job of sending kids to the next level.
So we're gonna get into it right now. Week 6, top wide receivers. And listen, before we even get into this, man, I've been saying it all year.
If
West Warwick
you don't
has
mind,
the
uh,
dogs.
you should go to the quarterbacks one because that's before.
Okay, okay. That's right. See, we don't go in order. You can get something from week to week. You never know over here. We just do it. All right, Rhode Island ranked, man. You had to have your boy, Uncle Felix, come in with his top 6, man. Go get him, Uncle Felix. Break it down for us.
Well, the top three here for the quarterbacks this week. I had to obviously put Deuce Addison there, number one. He had a huge game versus Lincoln through 5 touchdown passes. They put up 52 points on Lincoln this week. Two of them went to his number one target there, Randy Geraldo, who's no stranger to my top 3 list. But yeah, Deuce, it was an easy pick for number one there with Deuce Addison. He's been having a great year, and I'm looking forward to see what he can do
He had a
this
great
week.
high school
Mount
career.
Pleasant.
You look back on
Yeah,
Deuce
yeah,
Addison from a freshman, average 600. Yeah, I remember his freshman putting up. I think he ended the season, if I'm not mistaken, 666 yards, and I only remember that because of the number. But yeah, no, the kid's been outstanding. his father is a great coach and doing great things. So shout out to Deuce Addison, man.
Yeah, great kid. Number two, I went with Philip Thoreau, the quarterback from Narragansett. As we've been saying, Narragansett has been putting up a ton of points. They put up another 55 this week. Um, he threw another three touchdowns this week. Um, they rolled, and I think he had like 270 yards passing, and again another 55 points. They rolled again this week. They're going to be a tough out in Division Three. I used to say it was them and Pilgrim, but they're even separating themselves from Pilgrim right now.
Oh, they did score in the last 2 weeks 110
Yeah,
points.
and not to get ahead of myself, I think they're going to score another 50 again this week.
Oh,
they're,
50.
they're, they're looking good.
The way the playoffs go this right now, if they would start today, like I said, they're setting up a game against Central Falls.
Oh,
Not good
geez.
for Central Falls.
Oh, not good for anybody, to be honest with you. But my quarterbacks, rounding off my top three, I went with Jalen Dennis out of Classical. He played in that exciting game as we were looking at earlier against Westerly. He threw for over 250 yards, three touchdown passes, and a huge win over Westerly thanks to that great play there by Marquise Buchanan at the end to pull out the victory.
And at that point in the game, Classical's up. Westerly's their quarterback goes down. They have to switch gears. They seem to be running the ball. Zach Tuck breaks away one. Westerly takes the lead. Very next play, you punt the ball off. You know, you kick it away from Marquise Buchanan, and he does. They do an end around. It was set up perfectly because of the game situation, but not to make excuses. That game was officiated horribly. And even Coach Dunbar went on a limb and said, we have to start holding these officials accountable. And he posted a little quick video with just, one particular play, and it was just egregious. But congratulations to Classical. I mean, that was a good win. Two tough 4-1 teams, and that's going to make it interesting because Classical holding that number 2 seed right now,
Yeah, no,
you know.
that was a big win for them. Matter of fact, I had Westerly winning that game, so that was a huge win for Classical.
Yeah, like I did as well, seeing how I just like how Coach Dunbar makes his halftime adjustments. I've been seeing them come out the locker room at halftime, and because of that alone, like it's kind of hard to pick anybody beating Westerly at this point. Like they're playing very very good football. They
Hmm.
have a run game. They have a passing game. So they could be very, very explosive. Why don't you break down your running backs while I run and answer my door?
My top three running backs this week. At number one, I have uh, the running back there from Pilgrim, who had a huge day. His name is Danny Hello. He was over 200 yards, four touchdowns, three of them in the second half. As you know, he helped Pilgrim overcome halftime deficit and pull off the win over Charahoe 35. I mean, the kid was an absolute monster in the second half, scoring three touchdowns. My number two guy, I went with Brock Pacheco from Mount Hope. I got to actually watch this game up close as I was breaking down the film for West Warwick. He was over 160 yards rushing, three touchdowns. He also had an 80-yard kickoff return to actually win the game as they beat West Warwick 34 to 28. Very exciting game. He played very well. He stepped up big for him, so he was my number two guy. Um, Rounding off my top three, I gotta go with Javon Melendez from North Providence. He had a monster game, as they beat PCD. Um, Not only did he have a 90-yard touchdown run, he had two 90-yard touchdown runs. You know what I mean? And which gave him over 250 yards for the game. So he was my rounded off my number three. for the North Providence Cougars. Kudos to these guys. Great numbers, had great week.
Yeah, definitely. That West Warwick Mount Hope game. Mount Hope looks so much different in person than they do on film. They really pulled it out against West Warwick, and I know that was a tough loss for Coach Pennington, but I think West Warwick's going to be in good shape coming down the road. I mean, it's going to take time.
Mm.
Okay, now let's see. Now the top defenders, right? Did I? Oh, wide
There you
receivers.
go.
1 second.
Let's see the top receivers this week. I went with Jack Farley from East Greenwich. He had over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's got a great quarterback over there throwing to him, Park Kadisky. So I went with him. Number two, also from that West Warwick Mount Hope game, I went with Richard Medeiros. He had over 160 yards, 2 touchdowns, including an 83-yard touchdown run, which actually made my highlights this week. Kid has great vision when he does get into the open, and he's been known this year to take that short pass and turn it into big plays. So this is not his first time on the list. I believe it's his third time. So he's having himself a great season over there in West Warwick. And number three, another person who's not new to the list. He's actually made it a couple of times on offense and once on defense. But this week was on offense. He had 7 catches and 2 touchdowns to help North Kingston come out with a huge win over Portsmouth, actually. They won that game with the last minute field goal at the end, and they pulled out the victory there, 31-28 over Portsmouth.
I mean, West Warwick definitely has some plays. Medeiros, has he made your list more than any other player? Because I think I remember him being on it quite a few times.
Yeah, he's been on this is either his second or third time. I'm going to say the person that's made on there the most is probably the kid from the quarterback from Pilgrim, Widmer.
Yes.
He's been on there quite a bit.
And he too isn't far behind the Smithfield back. He made the list the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, the Smithfield back, I think, made it the first 2 or 3 weeks, but he hasn't been on this since. A lot of it has to do with COVID.
Yeah, there are a lot of cancellations. They canceled. They have another cancellation this week.
Marquise Gannon could be also he's this week, but I can't imagine that he played and he hasn't been on it.
Oh yeah, well we can easily go back and check. That's the good thing about the social media. But let's get into this one. Came along this season, right? Top defenders. People were kind of in their feelings that what about the defense? We don't talk about defense.
Yes, defense never gets enough credit. And my top 3 defenders this week here. I mean, how could you not go with Andre DePina Gray? The kid had 3 interceptions against Tolman as they blanked Tolman 21-0 over there at Max Reed Field. He had himself a day. Number 2, Makai Wilson from the Mariners had a huge day. He had 2 interceptions and returned them both to the house. You know what I mean? So he was an easy pick. And then rounding it off at number 3 there, Isaiah DeBrito out of LaSalle. His highlight actually made my page this week. He had a 99-yard interception return for a touchdown against the Falcons as LaSalle romped over Cranston West.
I mean, you see, now let's talk about DePina Gray and St. Breeze because it's kind of, you really don't see that quite often, a quarterback of his caliber in that position playing on the defensive side of the ball. They usually want to keep them protected, but kudos to him to be able to play great on the center and then go over there and get a couple interceptions. For you thought I was going to talk shit, huh? No, but kudos to him to be able to play that type of game on the center and then go out there and get a few interceptions.
Yeah, no,
get the defense.
Shows how good an athlete he is. Kind of reminds me of a little bit the kid last year from Cranston West, or 2 years ago, I should say. His name was Cam Alves. He would quarterback, but also and he was great safety for them as well as a great quarterback. as we all know,
Where's
he's
he
doing
at?
his thing.
Stonehill, right?
Stonehill, he's playing receiver. And a few weeks ago, he actually caught a winning touchdown against Assumption, which
I
made
seen that.
highlights on
Yeah.
my. Yeah, so he's doing his thing there as a freshman.
Stonehill, a tough recruiter in Rhode Island, always recruiting hard. They always picking up some Rhode Island kids. But we talked about that. There's so many more programs now that are really picking up Rhode Island kids. You look at this St. Ray's team that you mentioned them. St. Ray's, their class of 2023 is they're creatures. These kids are just, they do the work. They go above and beyond. So salute to St. Ray's, but I'm hearing a rumor that we might see them in D1 next season. But congratulations to everybody on your list, top defensive backs. You can go over to Instagram and check that out. Let's get into some of the predictions this week. You've been right on the money with a couple of these predictions. I gotta say, let me pull this down. You can go to Instagram, check Uncle Felix out. Um, get switch computers now. You like my new screen that I got up? I just got to get it all
I like it. I like
plugged
it.
in. You can talk about things. They can play in the back and.
They see what sponsor money does.
Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Hey, more people should sponsor like stuff like this. This is like, it's kind of crazy because people don't realize, and I didn't realize until my wife started bringing it up exactly how much I have invested
Mm-hmm.
in this, between the microphones, and I couldn't just settle like having one set. I gotta have all kind of stuff that I don't even know what to do with it, or how to use it. But yeah, when you believe in what you do, and
Yep.
oh, there's a lot of red here. There's a lot of red. Well, one game I already knew about. We knew about the Central Falls North Smithfield game being canceled. So it looks like Central Falls has a COVID issue in their first day of quarantine. If that game would have went on, who do you think would have won that game?
Game. I had CF checked off there just because they're playing at home. But obviously we'll never know now.
No, we
So we'll see.
won't.
No, but North Smithfield has shown some flashes there. That their offense, when given the chance, can get going. Central Falls has been inconsistent, but that game being in Central Falls, I would have leaned a little bit towards Central Falls.
I think North Smithfield could have picked up a win here, and I think
Yeah,
this is
very
where
easily.
it's going to hurt some of these teams. The next game is going to be, St. Ray's been walking over a lot of teams. I think that Tolman team last week holding them to 21 points. Yeah, it's a rivalry, but no team has been able to hold St. Ray's to 21 points. The next closest team was Westerly at 28 points, and they're playing, Mount Pleasant, who just comes off a big Lincoln win. They beat Coventry and they beat Barrington. Who wins this one?
Yeah, my nod is going to go towards St. Ray's. Obviously, Mount Pleasant coming off a big week, scoring 52 points against Lincoln. But Lincoln is not St. Ray's. St. Ray's defense is going to be tough. As we said, they blanked Tolman. We saw DePina Gray there with 3 interceptions. The X factor here is going to be Deuce Addison. If he can get anything going against that defense, Mount Pleasant may have a chance. Um, you know, him along with his number one target there, Randy Geraldo. This team is gonna go as far as they can take them, but I think they're gonna hit a roadblock this week in St. Ray's. St. Ray's wins this game.
There we go. Not a bad pick. St. Ray's has been playing strong. If you're betting again on St. Ray's, you've been doing a good job all season. This next game was moved. Narragansett and Tollgate. I noticed this a couple weeks ago. It was moved to October 23rd on a Sunday, I believe. But what makes it interesting is Rhode Island Interscholastic League has a policy that you can't have no games on Sunday before 5 o'clock. So I really don't know the time of that game, but Narragansett and Tollgate, who do you like on that Sunday matchup?
This is an easy one. Narragansett just has too many weapons. The quarterback there, Philip Thoreau, he's actually made my QB list now the past couple of weeks. Again, we keep talking about they're putting up 50 points a game. There's so many weapons there. That Makai Wilson. This week he made it on my defense as he had 2 picks for a couple of touchdowns, but he's also a stud on offense. They got the kid Rita Fry as well, another running back there. They got Tyler Piore, a wide receiver, who's been on my list a few times. I mean, they got a load of weapons, and Toge is just struggling. So, this one here, I'm going to have to go Narragansett by 50.
By 50. So he didn't even say what Toge was going to get, but you probably get the idea. By 50. Interesting. The next game, Situate almost pulls out a win last week against Smithfield. They couldn't get it done. Now, Juanita Sanchez playing strong football.
Yeah,
Playing Situate.
Juanita Sanchez had a nice game last week, and they picked up the win there. I think they played Hope. It was Orlando Perez had 2 touchdown passes in that game. That's the quarterback for PCD. They are playing at home, so I'm going to go with PCD here.
Nice piece. That's not bad. I think Situate. I'm hoping they could pull one out. And I'm hoping this is the one. With the playoffs, the 6 spots available in Division 4. I mean, that 6 spot. It looks like the top 3 is probably sewn up, but you got 4, 5, and 6 right now. North Providence, PCD, and EWG. So Situate could definitely hurt PCD's playoff hopes, or maybe even drop them down. On the next game, Smithfield High School canceled. Another game they had canceled this season. They were supposed to play an out of state game, so we're kind of just skip over that one at this point. They won against Situate last week. I think you had posted the touchdown on your Instagram page, and some people argued, "Oh, that's not a touchdown," but from what I understand by the rules, only 1 foot needs to be in bounds
Hmm.
for a touchdown in high school football. Let's
Yep,
see.
no, that's true.
Yep. Now Central High School played a Monday night game the other night, and it looks like they're gonna get another Monday night game this week. 2 questions: what do you think of Monday night football in high school? And who wins, EG or Central at EG?
Oh, Monday night football is not for high school. Friday night football is for high school. um, and it throws a monkey wrench. You don't want kids to have a short week. Playing Monday and then possibly playing Friday again. But I'm glad that the league was able to do this for Central, obviously, because they played this past Monday there. So to make them play Friday night, that's not cool. So I'm
Yeah,
glad
there was a
they got
discrepancy, and I think they wanted them to play Saturday. Central didn't really like the time, and then there was a Sunday time, and that didn't work out. So they're gonna go to Monday, have the extra day of rest. I mean, if the league did ever go to Monday Night Football, maybe one game, but the team should have a bye the following week.
Yeah, if they did something like that, that's not a bad idea. That'd actually be pretty cool. But yeah, this game here, Central versus EG, I'm gonna have to go with Central. They look really strong, especially defensively against Hendricken. EG's been a little sporadic this year. They have a great quarterback, as I always say, in Parker Diskey. But the Central defense is gonna be tough. Their running game is strong. So definitely, I'm gonna go with Central here.
Yeah, EG sitting with that number 6 right now with that one win they got this past week. So EG really needs to try to figure something out. But yeah, you can't go against Central. What Coach Washington's doing down there. You know, he's able to get you adversity. First year, have a lot of adversity going on, different moving parts going around, and he's still figuring out the way to pull it all together. So you really can't go against him. The next game, Coach Pennington, West Warwick High School playing Lincoln. This should be an easy one.
Yeah, Lincoln's been struggle. West Warwick at home, and West Warwick has a bitter taste in their mouth from losing that game there in the last minute to Mount Hope on that 80-yard touchdown run, kickoff return there by Brock Pacheco. So West Warwick's going to be chomping at the bit. They got some studs on their team with DeAndre Chase, who I believe is number 2 right now in the state in rushing, according to Max Preps. And obviously, we talked about Richard Medeiros doing his thing on the receiving end. And their quarterback is starting to come around. Brady Mayale. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his last name right.
Malay, I think it might be, but yes, salute to him. Good ball player.
He, he yeah, he starts to run, which that's going to help West Penting out next year. That's for sure. But they're starting to get it. They're starting to get West's offense there. So I think this is a good week for them. We're going to see them roll, I believe, against Lincolnham, pick up the W at home.
West Warwick definitely needs that W. You have a tough game against West Warwick. Westerly the following week. So yeah, they definitely need the W's because you're starting to look. You got to finish better than Mount Hope at this point, and you got an L to Mount Hope. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll definitely have to see how that goes. The next game, D1, good old Cranston West, not really playing great football this year. As of right now, they have a playoff spot. Um, and they're going to be playing Cumberland, somebody that had Cam Pedro last week that made your top three, I believe. 30
Yeah,
attempts.
yeah. He racked up some yards there, 31 carries. He also had five receptions too. He actually had over 100 yards again this week. But their other back there, Joel Baker, he had a big game for them this week. I believe he ran for about 160 yards, scored a couple of touchdowns. As I think they rolled to an easy win, and that's probably going to happen again this week against Cranston West, as you alluded to. They're not playing so hot this year. They're struggling a bit. This game is in Cranston West, but not going to help them much. I think the Clippers will win this one.
Yeah, I usually don't go for the Clippers, only because their coach blocked me from their Twitter page, the coach's high school news Twitter page, he
Yeah.
blocked me from that. But, it's kind of hard to, you have to go with the Clippers. I don't think Cranston West is going to be able to pull this out, especially Cumberland. Every game is a must win. I mean,
Mhm.
you look at Cumberland sitting with the number 4 right now, and Shea is on their heels. Like, Shea hasn't really got a lot of wins, but they're sitting there at the number 5 seed. So Cumberland can't afford to lose any games, especially to somebody that's sitting with the 6th seed right now in Cranston West.
Yes.
So yeah, Mount Hope, Moses Brown, a couple of weeks ago playing a tough game, beating Mount Pleasant, then surprising me last week, and then but now they play Mount Hope. What do you think about that game? Is going to be at Mount Hope.
Yeah, this is actually a tough one here. Moses Brown had that. You said the victory over Mount Pleasant, which threw me off. And this week here, they're playing Mount Hope. Brock Pacheco having a big game
Oh, it
against
might have
West
been
Warwick.
against Classical. I'm sorry, it was a victory over Classical. I'm
Was it
sorry.
classical? Even
Yeah, a couple of weeks
that
ago it was
that's
Classical.
that's even a bigger upset. um, hmm. I'm going to go Mount Hope because they're playing at home, and but I'm
Yeah, I
not. I'm
mean
not
Mount Hope with that number 4, they need every win they can get to
yeah,
hold on to
they're
that
playing
4
at home
spot.
there. Coming off a big win against a road win against West Warwick. Maybe look for them to keep that momentum going. But
They have to stay above Tolman,
this is
and
this is one I'm admittedly shaky on. It could go either way, but I'm gonna tip my hat towards Mount Hope because they're playing at home.
Portsmouth and Woonsocket. I think Woonsocket loses their QB. They lost a game this week against SK. And I think it's going to take Woonsocket time. I think having last year off, the culture changing up there. Coach B-Ball, shout out to him, but you know he's got a tough battle, man. He's dealing with. I think they got a lot of work ahead, but I think they're going to be good going forward. I got Portsmouth in this one.
Yeah, Portsmouth here is going to be too much for the Villanovans to handle. Ben Hurd has just been putting up insane numbers all year. You know what I mean, with his legs, with his arm. He's another one. He's a quarterback on offense, safety on defense. He's made my list on both sides of the ball as well. Great athlete, one of the top athletes in the state. So definitely look for Portsmouth to win this game.
Tried to play a little drum roll for you, but it didn't work
And,
out
and
right.
they're at home.
Yeah, yeah. The next game, a team that took an L last week, Westerly against Central. Playing Barrington. Another tough game. Barrington had their way with Westerly last season at Barrington. Will this game have a different outcome?
I think so. I think Wesley is a very good team this year. They're playing at home. Uh, just like we talked about West Warwick having a bitter taste in their mouth with that last minute loss to Mount Hope. Wesley's got the exact same thing going on with that last minute loss to
Oh,
Classical.
you got a real nasty taste.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that hurt.
we'll see if that motivates them to push them over. And like you said, they owe Barrington a little bit of payback there. Um, but as long as they can stop that offense from getting going, Wesley should be okay. The thing is that that triple option there that they like to run in Warwick. Once it gets rolling, it's tough to stop. But I have faith in Dunbar here, so I'm going to go with Wesley.
Yeah, I think Dunbar is one of the best halftime making game adjustments. He's very, very good at it. And yeah, Central is in a little rut. I just had to answer that from one of the comments, but I think Central is going to be okay. Looking at the schedule going forward. But let's look at the next game. A team that's playing very well, Ponagansett. They have this game and one more game after that. Ponagansett ain't going to have another game until November 19th. We're having week 8 bye. So Ponagansett and Davies, number 1 seed and a number 3.
Yeah, Pond against it at home. It's an easy pick here. Davies, I don't want to forget about this great season they're having for a team that's only been in existence for 3 years. You know what I mean? And now, they're making a playoff run here. Looks like they're going to get into the playoffs. Kudos to them. That's a great job. 3 years in existence and you get into the playoffs. Good for them. They will, but Pontiac is too much. They got Nick Bacala and company there. You know what I mean? They're three-headed monster in their backfield there. They'll probably win this game by about 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, Ponagansett is going to do. I'm starting to really believe that they are definitely an unstoppable force. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Ponagansett Division 3 next season. Win or lose that Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
they,
You're out of there.
they should have been there this year to be.
Here's another little secret. North Smithfield being 4. Just so you know, you heard it here first. um, okay, let's go on. Tolman, Rogers, at Max Reed.
Vikings go. Vikings and Tigers here, huh? Tolman, they've been they're an odd team. They got some really big guys there. Both of these teams actually are very inconsistent. So, but I'm gonna go with Tolman here.
He's going to go with Tolman
I'm
for
gonna
the
go with
win.
yeah, because Tolman's at home. Um, both of these teams, I'll be honest with you, I never know who to pick with them. You don't know which team is going to show up. Both teams are very inconsistent.
Yeah, Coach Newsom, long time at Rogers, and a lot of people say that they really haven't seen Rogers have a team so bad. Respectfully, I don't want to disrespect anybody over there. You look at Tolman, they have players. They just can't get over that hump, man. They've been so close to so many games. I was so impressed with their first half performance against Westerly a couple weeks ago. Like it was a 7-6 halftime game. Um, Coach Marco over there doing his thing. They just can't get over that hump. They got Devin Ward. Some great players, but yeah, I think Tolman can definitely beat Rogers, especially after such a great game against St. Ray's last week that Tolman put on the field. Even though taking the L, holding St. Ray's at 21 was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
know, NK, a team in D1. It seems like it's a D1 monster. They get beat by St. Ray's at the beginning of the year, embarrassed by St. Ray's. Hold them for like under 20 yards for the half. And now NK goes on a run, destroying everybody in their path in D1.
They should win this game here against Shea. They're playing at home. Shea's been struggling a bit. Again, NK there with Keith Mancini, who's been a star for them on both sides of the ball. Look for him to have a pretty big game. So I'm going to go with NK here.
Another canceled game here, folks. Charahoe Middletown game is canceled. Really don't. I mean, it mattered for the kids playing, but they're both in the playoffs. So no matter how you look at it, they could lose every game. They'll still be in the playoffs. Saturday morning game starting at 10:30 a.m. Tiverton EWG, a must-win for EWG. EWG don't win this game, they might as well pack it in now. Season over.
They can keep their luggage out because they will win this game on the road. EWG over Tiverton. Tiverton is just very young and still trying to figure things out there. So EWG should win this game.
I was looking at Tiverton points for and against, and I was like, it reminded me of West Warwick under Coach Cato a year ago, where you had like under 20 points scored, So hopefully, Tiverton season is pretty much, it's a wrap, you know.
Yeah, they're pretty much building for the future there, which is there's nothing wrong with that. This is just not their year, but they can use these games to get better for next year.
And salute to the coach, but there's a team that probably is that another unionized coach, Coach Russo
I'm not
over there.
sure. I'm
You,
not
you know,
sure, to be honest with you.
because we talked about that. A lot of these lifetime coaches, they're protected under the union contracts, and we both talked about that rule definitely needs to change. But all right, let me see what's next.
Yeah,
Burrville, LaSalle.
yeah. Burrville, LaSalle. LaSalle has not been tested in state all year, and this game will prove to be more of the same. I can see LaSalle will roll over Burrville. Burrville does have a nice quarterback there in West Canoia, but obviously LaSalle has Dean Verchione, something like that.
You're
Great
getting it. You're
quarterback,
getting it. Great
and
kid.
I can go on. There's a long list of great players over there at LaSalle. There's too many weapons for Burrville, so LaSalle should roll in here.
And I'll correct myself publicly right now. I said that Dean was a very small kid, and boy, I got an earful of it. My son is not small. He's so he's not small. He's actually a bigger kid than I thought. 6'5". I think he's weighing like almost 200 pounds. Size 16. I was like, yo, that's a pretty big boy over there. And I it's kind of cool when parents will hit me up like, yo, you said this about my son. I was like, but I stand corrected. So yeah, I think LaSalle really don't really have a lot of strong competition. They're really all season, and salute to them because they have a cast of great football players over there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's kids that want to play football, and then there's football players, and LaSalle has some of them football players over there, and I'm interested to see how the end of the season works out. I want to see them in a game against some rugged competition.
We shall see. We'll see how it all plays out at the end.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Let me get back to my place over here. Okay, a big game. SK coming into Bishop Hendricken. SK coming off a win. Bishop Hendricken coming off a tight game. Man, is SK gonna run over on the Hawks? He's staring at me like, you really believe that, son?
They they go as far as Ryan Hazard will take them on offense, but he's not going to be able to take them too far this year. They'll stop him before he gets going. I know for a fact, obviously, having a son on the Bishop Hendricken team, they're not very happy with themselves with the performance they put forth against Central. So they're chomping at the bit to get after it again. So yeah, Hendricken wins this one on the road.
Read the comment. Shock of the year for D1A. Obviously, I'm biased. No one thought we could beat Central. Imagine. I mean, that would be
Oh,
quite a storyline.
oh, he's talking about the SK win
SK, yeah.
when they beat Central. That was a nice win.
Yeah, I mean Central gave the ball up like 6 times, and then they had all that trouble with the snap. Boy, that game, what a great ending to that game. You
Mm.
know, it didn't go the way a lot of people wanted, but that was a heck of a football game. And salute to both programs for sure. All right, let's go on with this. You know, Johnston High School, which they got beat badly by Charahoe. They bounced back against CF, and now they have Coach Blake and company coming to town.
Yeah, they bounced back against CF and they'll bounce down against Pilgrim. I mean, Pilgrim is right now, in my opinion, clear number two in that division there. Um, not to knock anything, with Hunter Remington, great quarterback out of Johnson. He's putting up some great numbers this year. And obviously, Whitmer from Pilgrim's putting up some great numbers this year. I don't, I don't see this being a big shootout, though. I think Pilgrim wins this game comfortably.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Blake, and I think the last couple of games, him having a real tough game against Charahoe Chargers, I didn't see that coming last week. They were down big to Charahoe at the half. Coach Blake pulls it out at the end, and I think these kids are trying to straighten things out, and I think this week they get it straightened out, and I think Johnson could get hurt pretty bad in the standings because right now they're sitting at 1, 2, 3. They're sitting at fourth spot. Losing to Charahoe really hurt them, and then you lose to Pilgrim. It could drop them down
Mm-hmm.
even more, but we'll definitely have to wait and see. We'll have that probably for you Monday after all the games are played. Okay, let's get on with this list. We already went over that game. All right, North Providence High School and Hope. Could North Providence, a lot of people say, gonna be a sleeper and gonna
You know what? North Province had a big game last week from their running back there, Javen Melendez. He had not only did he have one 90-yard run, he had two 90-yard touchdown runs in their victory there. Um, and they're at home against Hope, who's been struggling all year. Hope a couple of weeks ago did have that big win, that comeback win against Tiverton, but they followed that up with a dud against PCD, and now they're on the road in North Providence. There, I see North Providence winning this one at home.
Coach Blake left a comment. It looks like we're bringing the smoke. I love what Coach Blake does in Pilgrim with the
he
smoke
wants he
show.
wants all the smoke.
He wants all the smoke. He said, he said that at the beginning of the year, like, don't call us out. You know what I mean? He was like, you say you could beat Pilgrim, set it up.
There you go. I like that.
You know what I mean? You ever see uh Coach Blake coached game? Like, this dude is like so hype. Jumping up with the kids, like, and salute to him. I
Yeah,
love everything he's doing
that's
over there,
I,
Pilgrim.
I I haven't seen him coach a game yet, but kids love that. They feed off that energy. I'm a big believer that kids take on the character of their head coach. So yeah.
And he's doing a great job.
No, he definitely
2019
is. Yeah.
winning the Super Bowl, and I say that because they almost like had no football. The kids marched down
That's right. Yeah, that was a
to
that was,
Warwick Town
that was, a,
Hall.
that was a great story. I remember that. Yeah.
Mayor Solomon lied in their face, saying, "Oh yeah, yeah, kids, just whatever." And then, they go from there. They go all the way to the Super Bowl. On Smithfield won. They won. It was an awesome year,
Hmm.
and I knew. I ain't gonna say I knew, but Coach Pilgrim belongs in Division 3. No disrespect, but some programs don't belong to move beyond where they are. Yes, first championship in 44 years to mention. And Warwick has not seen that kind of excitement. And look, he bounces back from the Division 2 back in 3, playing good competitive football.
Hmm. He's definitely doing a great job there. Kudos to him.
Salute to Coach Blake, always tuning into the pod. Hey, Coach Blake, I don't know if you heard it earlier, but you're the first coach this season that I got some inbox messages. People like, "Where was Coach Blake this week?" And I said, and I started laughing, and I said, well, he had, the game went late. We couldn't really get the interview done, and then he had the bowling tournament at Lanes the following day. But shout out to you because people was like, "Where's Coach Blake?" So you got them fans out there, Coach. Hang on, you have to. Yes, he said they're growing to become a good D2 team. So see, you can't hold Coach Blake down. He wants to move on.
That's what I like to
Uh,
hear. Like that.
he said, "I got you Saturday." That's what I'm saying. Um, okay, here we go. Let's move on down. I'm always grabbing the wrong mouse. Too many computers over here. Give me 1 second. Shea, Mount Pleasant. We talked Rogers, Davies, Juanita Sanchez, Esk. All right. Um, Hang on, Felix. Johnston. Okay, North Providence Hope. I think we almost got it. We got the Narragansett Tollgate game. That game
Yep, we did
was
that.
changed. We already talked about
Did
that.
that
And
one.
Cranston East
I
and East Providence.
Cranston East and East Providence. Um, both teams obviously struggling this year. More so, I believe Cranston East is struggling even more. I think East Providence will find the win column this week. Um, I have a lot of faith in with Coach Stringfellow's going to end up doing there in East Providence. Give him a couple of years, he'll have that program turned around, and they'll look just as good as their campus.
Yeah, hopefully they can catch up and be able to be competitive. Beautiful facility.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when they were building it. I haven't seen it finished except through pictures. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely a nice place. Well, there it is, Rhode Island ranked. We had top three.
Mm-hmm.
We covered that. We covered everything else, and yeah, Uncle Felix, man, it's another great one, man. We're in week 6.
Yeah, going into week 7, I can't believe we're winding down here. The season
Yeah,
is,
so we'll get week 6 out of the way, man, and
and then we get to see. My favorite part of the season is where some of these end up at the next level.
yeah, big time playoffs, man. Thank you to the sponsor of Situate Spartans football community, man. Thank you to Coral Bank of Coastal Homes. You got to check out the Tuesday night show, Felix. Very, very good. This week would have been right up your alley. We actually went into talking about John Gruden a little, and I had a take that a lot of people didn't have. Where's Dan Schneider in all this? Like, this is who they were originally, and it's funny that the NFL refuses to release any other emails. They said they got to protect the witnesses and the integrity of the league, and the emails are kind of locked up in a vault. But John Gruden, what he said was horrible. Like, he should be out of here anyway. Like, get him out of here. But what is this not telling us? Like, Dan Schneider shouldn't even be allowed. Like, if you read into what was going on at Washington, they said it was like an animal house, sex exploitation, secretly recording the cheerleaders, like crazy things going on. And we kicked that guy out of basketball.
Yeah.
Should Dan Schneider be stripped of his franchise? I mean,
Who knows? All this stuff, all this nonsense that that they're leaking out there and all that. Sometimes we got to know what the context is that these people are talking about, which I don't know. Everybody talks differently when they're talking in private as well. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna sit here and say I've never made some comments that wouldn't be considered whatever. You know what I mean. When I'm talking with my friends or when I feel nobody's listening, we all speak a little different. Um, you know
so
what I mean?
John
So
Gruden, a menace or a fall guy?
I don't even know. I couldn't tell you just because I don't know the context of it all. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and defend him because I don't know him. Uh,
Right.
I'm not going to kill him either because I know I tell jokes about race, about sexuality, about whatever. You know what I mean? Or I mean I some of the words he used I've used. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to be a hypocrite and sit here and say and 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 say I'm better than that. You know what I mean? So
No,
I don't know.
definitely
I'm
not.
not, if anything, I want to know who leaked it. You know what I mean, and why it was leaked. You know what I mean? Because these people, he's obviously sending an email thinking it's between him and that other person, and obviously now it's being shared out there.
Well, I
So
think it was the NFL, and I think they would have continued to leak it to get him out of there. Gruden, he says some bad things about Roger
yeah,
Goodell.
yeah,
and Roger Goodell could look good. He can
I'm sure.
get Maurice Smith reelected.
I'm
You
sure.
know,
I'm sure he's not the only person saying bad things
no, he's
about Roger
not.
Goodell.
And but the thing people are wondering here that this was really about. It started off being about the owners, and it seemed to shift to John Gruden and just where's Dan Schneider and all this. Who the investigation really was around. And
I lost a lot of respect for Dan Schneider ever since he caved and changed his name to the Washington football team. I mean, that's
yeah,
total, total,
definitely big money,
big,
money.
big coward, total bullshit. You know, they're the Redskins, not the Washington football team.
I still call them the Redskins.
This whole PC nonsense, you know what I mean? It's going to be the downfall to everything. You know,
Gonna be. It is
like
a downfall.
somebody recently said, everything woke turns to shit.
No, you're absolutely right. I've been hearing a lot of that lately, man. But Uncle Felix, man, till next Thursday. Definitely go check Uncle Felix out on Instagram. His followers are definitely growing. Um, Tune in tomorrow night. We're gonna have all the coaches, our regular cast on. Coach Dunbar, Coach Pennington. We got Coach Blake up in here this week by popular demand. People requesting you, Coach Blake. But definitely Coach Paiva. Well, he won't be playing this week, but I'll see if this weekend maybe I can get him and a couple of his captains on. But until next week, thank you everybody. Thank you, Felix.
Thanks for having me, Mikey. I'll talk to you.
It was Uncle Felix, man. Always doing good things. Every Thursday, you can check it out, 8 p.m. right over here. We go through the top three from the week before. And then we do the predictions. You can check Tuesday night out. Voice Sports. What Voice Sports is? It's voice reporters from all over the country, part of the Voice Sports Network. Definitely check them out, man. But good luck to everybody. All the teams competing tomorrow. Be safe. And I guess that's about it.
What y'all thought we was done? Oh, we ain't never done. It's Mr. Spin Your Block. Yeah, it's the remix. And I got some shooters with me. Yeah, and I got some shooters with me. I ain't even doing no more